Dear brothers and sisters, today I would like to share with you a mysterious photo that has sparked great interest and emotion among believers on social media. This extraordinary image has strengthened the faith of many people around the world. After conducting some research, let's try to understand what it is and whether the photo truly represents a manifestation of the Our Lady. The photo was taken by Kloska on the Sunday morning of December 11, 2006, shortly after attending Mass at the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, located on the campus of the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, United States. Within the campus, there is a majestic basilica known as the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, dedicated to the Divine Heart, and nearby is a replica of the Lord's Grotto. Although an artificial replica, the Lord's Grotto is considered a sacred place by the locals, frequented by students and visitors for prayer and meditation. During its construction, a natural spring was discovered, making this grotto even more special. On that particular day, Kloska, as he exited the basilica, paused for a moment in front of the grotto, drawn to the prayer of a student who, despite the heavy snow and intense cold, knelt there motionless. Captivated by the scene, Kloska decided to take out his iPhone and capture a photo. However, immediately after taking the shot, his phone suddenly turned off, even though the battery was still charged. Kloska returned home without giving much thought to what had happened. It was only in the evening, when everyone was asleep, that he decided to free up space on his iPhone by downloading the photos. It was at that point that he noticed, with surprise, the image he had captured in front of the grotto. In the image, he noticed a white figure above the praying student, but he did not recall seeing anything like that when he took the photo. This discovery left him perplexed. He decided to share the photo on his Facebook profile as usual. However, the next day, he was surprised by the number of friends asking about the photo. Some of them were even moved to tears while looking at it. A friend of his sister offered to use Photoshop to enhance the white figure, and the improved photo was reposted. Unlike Kloska's usual Facebook posts, which usually garnered only a few dozen views, this image began to be shared more and more and quickly went viral. Some claimed that the clear image of the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus was visible, while others thought it could simply be a reflection caused by snowflakes. Looking at the image, it does seem possible to discern the figure of the Virgin Mary with baby Jesus in her arms, but it is important to acknowledge that it could also be just an optical illusion. Perhaps the best course of action is to consider the words of the photo's author, which not only provide further details but also offer a beautiful reflection. Here are his words. Before I give my perspective, let me provide some context. I have had a special relationship with the Blessed Mother for a long time. Without her, I believe I would have abandoned Christ. She comforted me when I was young, when I was desperate and going through unbearable emotional pain. Then for a while, she stepped aside to bring me back to her Son, Jesus. Every time she seemed to say, "Do what you're told." So I tried my best to follow her advice. Since she saved me from abandoning Christ, which would have been the biggest mistake of my life, I have become devoted to her. So, what can I say about this photo? I looked for a rational explanation. It doesn't seem like a simple glare of light. It couldn't have been snow falling from the rocks. I would have noticed that. So, what could it be? I think it's a natural, ordinary element, perhaps a snowflake falling just a few meters in front of the phone's lens. But I also believe that the Virgin Mary orchestrated all of this with extraordinary timing to remind the world that she is with us. That prayer is of fundamental importance and supports us. Yes, I think it was a snowflake passing in front of the lens, but if we reflect on it, what are the chances that a falling snowflake would appear exactly in that position and create a cloud above the praying student? What are the odds that the camera's shutter would open and close in the exact millisecond to create such an image? How did I find myself in the perfect angle to capture all of this? Why does the snowflake seem to highlight the rocks in a way that thousands of people believe they see the image of a mother with her child? But most importantly, why do so many people cry when they look at it? Well, I believe this is how the Virgin Mary works. I have experienced it before. She uses natural things to deeply influence her children. Elements, situations, coincidences. In this way, she always guides us toward her Son, Jesus. Please take a moment to reflect on the implications this photo could have in your life if the Madonna is truly behind it. If so, she wanted you to see this image. If so, this is not just a distant and extraordinary event. It is personal. It is not a coincidence. She is calling you. Whatever you think of this image, that's okay. You can certainly have faith without paying the slightest attention to this photo. If it strengthens your faith, all the better. If it distracts you, ignore it. Each of us is on our own journey. These were the words of Padre Kloska, which we find very beautiful and meaningful. As we often say on this channel, these signs are not necessary for faith. They are not the foundation. They are small confirmations that strengthen the faith of those who already have it, rather than converting those who do not have faith. These signs are useful to the extent that they benefit us in strengthening our faith. After all, how many times in life do we receive small confirmations that make us sure of the presence of the Lord in our lives? Often they are small things that, if we were to recount them, we would not be believed or they would be diminished. But in reality, we know that it is the Lord who speaks to us because it is what we needed at that precise moment. Therefore, we believe that this photo, which has deeply moved many people, is precisely that, a way in which the Madonna has manifested herself to speak to the hearts of the faithful. This is what we think, but please write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos and become part of the community of faith and prayer. God bless you.